Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV, back with another video. I am glad to be back, man. There's a lot going on, and let's just get straight into it. Clip one, go.
You could still have all that, but put someone in there, that's going to sound different and make a difference. And you pay him a little bit of extra money and he DJs a little bit longer. You don't need 5 DJs to make your room hot. Get behind one DJ like they used to. Like Boris came out of, people got behind him. Promoters got behind him and built him up. The Eric Murillos, all these guys. These guys were DJs first that became producers. Now you're a producer that becomes a DJ. It's a big difference. So you have no clue of what that ride or that journey is. You know how to make a record, no doubt. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are so talented, it's ridiculous. But you can't hold a room for more than an hour and a half.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm back. And it's before we get into this tutorial is going to be the essence of deep, right? And what it really means to be in the thick, right? What does the deep in house music really mean, right? So, I've been away for a few months, right? And although I've been, stepped off to the side in terms of doing tutorials, whatever, I have been active in terms of watching, seeing what's going on with streaming and all that stuff. And listen, mind you, I don't have an issue with people streaming and all that. That's just not me.
I feel like all of us were introverts, and when we went to parties, we didn't want to be the dancers. We didn't have that outgoing personality to talk to people. We were like, yo, the DJ, that's dope. They can actually impact the room, but kind of be hidden away. And I feel like that's a lot of us, well, probably maybe most of us, we're like, yo, I want to be a DJ because I love music and I could impact the room without being the center of attention.
You have a lot of folks who like to amass a whole lot of friends, followers, stands, you know what I'm saying, to you and then engage. I'm one of those old school DJs where, hey, listen, I do my thing, you over there, you dance, and that's it, right? There's no real interacting and followers and this, that, and third and figuring out how many views I have and all that stuff. That's just not me, right? I don't do things like that, especially because I know that it doesn't relate or represent anything else besides that. Just a bunch of dudes watching me DJ, right?
I think a lot of people were delusional. They was thinking that so much attention was going to certain DJs that if I just took my little followers of this, that, and the third, and I did the same thing, that I was going to garner the same results. And that's just not true. You know what I mean? It's it doesn't happen like that.
And I do think we tend to overthink the pluses and minuses of streaming. By and large, we're all a little bit older here. Crooked, you got a podcast and a business. I'm thinking, do I still want to be, DJing and getting home at 6 a.m.? But a lot of the people that have been killing it on Twitch are just dudes that's been waking up unemployed with nothing to do the whole day at their disposal and fuck it.
Yeah.
Let me just get on there and DJ. Let me turn this camera on and do my thing.
But I want to say something I want to be honest, right? I think 2021 is going to be the year of integrity. That's where we just stop the music and we okay, let's sit down and just be real, right? I'm not, for me, it's not about my immediate space, right? I don't do things for me specifically. I'm all about the culture, right? I'm all about there. So I'm watching interviews, I'm watching the live streams, I'm watching DJs because I'm learning, right? Not only am I learning what's going on, what have you, but I'm also taking in a lot of the stuff that's happening. And I'm sort of afraid for the culture, for just DJs, in general, right? Because there's no one there to guide them.
I think what I'm starting to witness is DJs that are technically excellent. Okay. They can do all the tricks, but there is a musicality that is missing.
And I feel that today's DJ is missing out on that because we all interact so much like this, like via Twitch or via Instagram or via YouTube or via FaceTime. And as a result, there's really no need for you to be around people as much. So there aren't house parties. You're not being asked to come DJ this house party for this girl who's turning 17 and her friends are going to be there. And all those experiences help you develop as well as a DJ. It's not just about technique. They never experience what it is to engage an audience because all they do is they stay at home for like 5-6 hours a day perfecting that orbit flare or that offset backspin or that body trick. And they a lot of them don't even care about music selection or catering to the audience. So
you see what I'm saying to you? Like, we're sitting here, like, we have all these live streams by, like, the John Summits, you know, from Chicago. There's nothing wrong with him. But, like, dude, like, his sets are, like, the same. Every track is the same. Most of the music is his, or if not, part of his label or part of his fellow label partners. And it's like this, right?
I'll say this. This whole thing has been like speeding up the technological misery of everything. And whatever was happening with DJing before this has just been fucking like turbo blasted. And I think the like decline of DJing turning into this sort of really brand driven thing that has kind of nothing to do with creating the magic of, you know, putting the right 2, 3, 4, 5 records together and making something really special happen. It's just like, it's turbocharged the magic out of this thing. And I feel like Goldfinger, I don't want to fucking do it.
And so there's this thing where, and we've talked about it before, but it's getting worse, where DJs are just putting music together, right? Now, let me ask you a question for the audience out there, right? If I have 2 tracks, I can mix 2 tracks, you can mix 2 tracks. Because at the end of the day, as DJs, especially with electronic music, you should be able to beat match and mix 2 songs. What makes us different? If you can mix, and you can mix, what makes you any different? What makes you a master? What makes you an expert? That's what we're going to get into today.
Same way if I play a song now, I know how the club should react. Like, I can see how the floor should be moving. You know, like, everybody can't do that. Like, I look at a lot of people and I'm like, you know, you're just playing the record, but you're not playing the record. You know, the music is supposed to take you on a journey. Playing a record is just playing a record. Taking you on a journey and flowing, that's something else. And, like, some DJs have that vision to understand, like, okay, I'm going to play this, to this, to this, to this. And I know how the floor is going to react. 3 records ahead before it even happened, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know, and it's not like you practiced your set. It was you felt the energy of the room and the people in the room. And that's what it is, you know. So I understand exactly what Kanye was saying when he says, I see colors. Like, I understand that. I don't see colors, I see a vision of a room full of people, you know. So, yeah. That's a gift.
Right.
That's a gift.
But many of you, when it comes to mixing and pairing music, the mixing, perfect. But when it comes to programming and like really defining like a night, right? You are trash. And it's like, accept it.
My younger self taught my older self to never count anyone out. Like, if you're trash right now, I believe in you. Because I know that trash can turn into
But
this.
it's not that simple.
But then
It never
sometimes
is, but it's always on your head.
But you
know
can't
what?
say, you're trash, I believe in you.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Then man, you believe in a lot of people.
Yes, you do. You know why? You know why? Yes, you do. I tell you though, if you tell one of your homies, yeah, but you're not good though, that's fine. Just make sure that sentence doesn't have a period on the end of it. I'll say you're not good.
Open-ended.
You're not good though. Right.
You should be
now.
management.
Right. Believe in
I
that.
was trash. You feel me? So I can never look at someone and be like, "You're not good right now, and you won't be good in 10 years." Like,
but what happens to the that's not good in 10 years?
Get a job at McDonald's.
I accept my failures. I accept my weaknesses. Accept the fact that Just because you can mix two tracks and mix intro to outro doesn't mean anything. Because you are trash. Because mixing a song that goes together with another song doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to say, I tell you, I want you to set up this track. See this track right here? I'm going to give you 30 minutes before the crowd is packed and ready to go. I want you to work up to that track. I want you to escalate, build that anticipation for that track. Or I want you to, this track, I want that to go 3 tracks ahead. So this track is going to be a dope track, but right now, the room is not packed yet. But in 3 tracks, I guarantee, just by the way things are moving, you'll have it. But I want you not only to just lead up to that track, but take tracks that will, tempo-wise, build up to it, but also have that same energy. Right? And then follow it from there. Many of you won't be able to do it. You'll just pick a track here, track here, track here, track here. So where does this come from? It comes from years of exposures. Let's talk about the fundamentals for a moment, right?
So think about this, taking the sport of soccer, right? When you're first learning, just getting the ball to go where you want to is difficult. You have to practice and practice and practice and learn that, and it's very difficult. It feels awkward. You see people that are bad at soccer, and they look bad at soccer. They look uncoordinated, they look awkward. At a certain point, you get to the point where you can move the ball around, you can do the right things, but maybe you're focusing a lot on that. When you really have the skill down is when you have the skill down perfectly, and you don't have to look at the ball anymore. Right? You just know where the ball is. The ball is an extension of you. Maybe you have to check in every once in a while, but for the most part, you can get up and scan the field, and now your brain is free to think about tactics, to think about strategy, to think about planning ahead and what do you want to do next. And that's where you're going to get to those moments of genius. It's when the fundamentals have become so ingrained that your brain is freed up to think about the advanced things. And then the advanced things have become so ingrained that your brain is free to think about anything and everything, right? And the game comes to you, the game slows down, everything gets easier from there. But it all comes from the fundamentals. If you don't have your fundamentals down, if you can't do the basic moves without looking at the ball, you cannot look up at the field, you cannot think tactically, you cannot think strategically.
If me mixing 2 songs together and not really knowing what to follow, or what I'm actually doing right now is basic, then how can I then improve, right? What makes me different than just another DJ just mixing 2 songs together, right? Like, what is that? Like, then there has to be something that's deeper that you may not be able to just see on the surface. You see what I'm saying to you? Until you get deep. And that's what the deepness is. It's being able to say, yo, yeah, like you can see that at face value. But if you're not really in tune, you don't really see what's going on down there. Like you don't, like it's like a magic trick. You see the trick. Oh, that was a trick. But you don't really see the depth of the trick. You don't really see what's really going on there and how it's really influenced and how it takes time and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of analysis and unfortunately a lot of just sheer ability to just understand things at a level that which others can't, right? And often it's just a natural occurrence. You see what I'm saying to you? That other people just don't have. And we need to come to terms with that. That not everyone's an expert. Not everyone is great. That we're not all equal. All right. So we have 2 tracks here, and I'm going to preface by saying that I'm going to extend the mixes, right? So normally when I mix, I like to keep things short. No. I like to extend my mixes, but from when the songs are ending to the introduction of the new parts of a new song, I like to keep it close because I don't like a lot of dead space. But for this tutorial itself, I'm going to extend the mix. So you're gonna hear a lot of dead space, just beat, beat, beat. Why? Because I wanna show you the real special smoothness of the rotary mixer. And also I wanna explain to you the process of going from one track to another track. But again, at a level that people don't really understand up front or are able to explain. So we have this track going on right now, and then I'm gonna move it forward. Let me go ahead and set this track up. All right, I'm moving it up just for the tutorial purposes. Everything's full on. You see right here, the EQ, everything's full on. I'm gonna move. And what's great about it is that it doesn't allow everything to come on full on so quickly. Right? Everything's full on now. Now I'm gonna switch them now. Now sometimes, in order to prevent the bass clashing, you may have to bring this one up further so that there's no clashing, right? So you want to bring it up, and so that you're not losing any bass from here. Okay, so now this one is higher now. Watch when I release it. Now normally I would have made it closer. I would have brought that in closer. So normally this would have been, you would not have heard a lot of that dead space, but I'm doing it purposely. And that's why, when you want to keep the momentum going, right, you shorten that dead space, and that's why timing is perfect, okay? It's not only about the keys, but also the timing. And that timing comes from it comes often from intuition, but it also comes from that deep knowledge. A lot of the subconscious, it's like, oh, I've heard this song before. I know where the bass is gonna enter, where, the bass is gonna stop on the next song, and then bring them together at that perfect timing so that there's not a lot of dead space where it's just beat on beat on beat like a lot of DJs do. Now watch this. You see? It's still on. See, it's still on. Remember, with the music, Every transition you want to make a little bit more of a. See, still on. All right, so now here's gonna be the main transition here. I don't want to do anything too abrupt because then you're gonna lose the sound, and it sounds like something is ended quickly. And I'll use the music, and you see, gone. All right, so now these are the only two tracks that I was planning on. Now I'm thinking, let me go ahead and add, let's say, a couple more tracks. Okay, but now in my mind I gotta think, okay, what goes with this song now? But not just like everyone else like they do. They'll just play whatever that comes along that has like a certain, that has a certain groove to that. Because you'll have someone who will take like another song that has the same groove to that sounds similar. I'm gonna do something that has a similar profile but change up the song so it's a totally different song. Watch, because I have it in my mind already. Because again, it's in your mind. Which what I'm saying to you is that you can have a playlist in your mind. I've had playlists of songs, of 20 songs in my mind. So you can, you have a playlist in your mind, and I'm, okay, I'm not writing it down, it's in my mind. So how do you know if I have a playlist or not? You don't know what I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying to you? When people rap, when battle rappers, they have to rehearse their stuff. When people sing, they have to rehearse. When you dance, you have to rehearse. So when it comes to music, you don't rehearse? That's why you're trash. Sorry. You see? I'm adding a song as if it's part of it.
Can you feel the bass line?
it takes care of itself because you're like, oh, that was that little dead space and it sounded a little off because there was too much going on with the last song and this one. It works itself out. And then now you slowly bring it out. She's still on. Now already I have a song in my mind that I think I want to play that's going to go well with this. You see, because I'm already thinking ahead, right? Now I have to search for it. Oh no, actually no. It was a song that I was going to play before this one.
You and me together can never stay the same.
Yeah, so before I was going to play a song before this. I was going to play another song but I realized that this song had like a, what do you call it again? Had like an intro with vocals and it wasn't going to go with the other one. So I'm choosing this one then. All right, I'm moving forward a little bit. So what did you see? What happened there? Hold on. All right, for instructional purpose, I'm gonna get out. Okay, so what did you see? What happened? I realized that that was gonna end soon, and that because I know that the La 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 song, I know that it takes a while to kick in, right? Because it has two parts where it starts teasing you with the musical, and then it goes back to the words mean nothing. And then it comes back to the musical part. And I'm like, oh man, like where's that part? Because I'm losing time. So then I had to skip forward in order to get it. It just so happened that it landed on the right spot. But again, once you have a beat on a beat, it doesn't really, because now the measures are irrelevant now. But then when I went to loop it, it was at 1 bar. Or at 2 beats, right? Or one beat. So it was boom, boom. So when I released it, it was off. So then I had to find it again and then loop it. It's tough because again, remember we talked about it, being calm and not freaking out and be like, holy cow, you be able to calm, free your mind and be like, okay, let me wait until I get the right measure and then release it so that it can get back on point. So now this song, it ends kind of like, if you look right now, it ends kind of jacked up because it's got music all the way. So I'm gonna have to have a song that I can play that's not too musical, but sounds similar. That has that techie, soulfully groovy sound, right? And I'm thinking of one right now that I know of. Okay, so it comes in at 16 bars. So I gotta be careful. But I'm gonna let it, I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna let it go at the right time. I'm gonna just extend it so that you can hear how the mix goes. Adjust the volume. You hear it? I'm just letting it play for you. Just listen. And I'm gonna switch them. See? Right? Now I'm gonna let this go. Watch. Remember, now that's why I say timing is important, because now it's like 15 seconds, there's nothing happening, it's just beat, and that's what a lot of DJs do. Not to this extreme, but they do it. That's why timing is important. So I would have timed it perfectly before. After this, I'll show you how I would time it. But listen though. Right? So let's go back. Let's go back to how I would time it. Remember, because there's barely any music, any time. No EQ. I know at 1 minute the bass is gonna kick in. So I gotta get this one on point and the volume of that a little off. See, so if I wanted to, and again, I just had to do it because I'm like, I don't really like going through the motions and like you really not knowing, okay, how to really pair the stuff, right? But listen, watch. It's still on. See? If you can hear, it sounds like there's something is off. That's why you gotta pay attention to the details. So it's like producing. See, because again, if the music starts to transition, you can still hear it. You see? Again, with the music, with the transition. So that was a major transition that allowed me to get out and then scrape and then get into another song. So, you want to do another song, couple songs? How much time we got? It's 46. All right, let's do one more. One more. I'm gonna keep it along the side. No. Again, no EQs. Now again, if I'm mixing live, I would have had it closer. I would have brought this one in closer, but I wanted to extend it for you so that you can hear how everything sounds with just the rotary mixer. Right. So if I let's go back again, and I'm going to show you how I would really. This is how I would pair it and get it closer. And you see the sound is coming out, you gotta be careful. So don't commit it too much with the volume. And I would hear, I'm not gonna bring the bass all the way down, I'm just gonna bring it just to midway. You see? Now you get it, right? Now you understand how it works. That's why I'm telling you, you're trash. And it's not because, listen, I'm not saying you're trash because you just don't know. I mean, because you just, like, you go from trash to success. You see what I'm saying to you? It doesn't come overnight. Like, this is my way of saying, hey, listen, sit down. Like, I've given you enough pep talk. I've buttered you up. Now to say, okay, where are you now? Evaluate yourself. You're trash. Fine. You take that, you go, you groom, right? And cultivate your skills and you come back. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay? And we're gonna do the same thing for another song. Because again, I hear this and I'm keeping this tempo, but I'm keeping this same groove, but different profiles, which means it's a different song. All right, let me do one more. This is like an entire set here now. And you don't see? You see, every time I put in another song, I actually test to see, okay, where is it at? When you're on these live streams, what do you see DJs do? They go to the next song. A lot of it is pre-rehearsed, playlist, that's fine. But they go quickly, and then the next one. They don't even listen to see, okay, where it is or how much time do I need, in order to execute. A lot of these cats, they don't do that, dude. Now, visually, you can see that at the end right there, it's gonna be like, okay, what's happening? Like, there's no music. So I'm gonna move it forward. So I missed it. So, but again, I know I call some of you trash. It is what it is. Take it, right? I've been called trash many a times, right? So, I know it was a long video. I'm leaving you with this. But at the end of the day, it's all about you and what you bring to the table, right? And we're gonna talk about that. I got more videos because again, 2021 is all about integrity, right? So, that being said, I had a good time. I hope you did too. Hope you learned a couple things. Without further ado, Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV. We out.